Well, good morning. I got some really bad news. The worst news with the truck. I had a mechanic here yesterday. He came on Sunday and just told him take out the head so I can get him done, and then I'll call you so you can put him back on. Well, he did that. We took the whole thing apart. And bad news is that when we open up the valve cover, this covered, that the spring broke in 3 pieces. I don't know where the other piece is at. And release, yeah, there's the other piece. That's why the engine went tunk and it wouldn't turn. It was stuck. So what happened when that broke? It released the valve from the bushing here, dropped it into the piston hole, and the piston got destroyed. Destroyed. It's an aluminum piston, very, very narrow. Never seen one like this. The one of the spark plugs, I just took it off. It was stuck because it jammed it against the head. And this is the result right here. It just completely, I don't know if this could be saved. I don't think so. I'm gonna take the heads to the shop now and tell the guy, just buy new heads, take out the springs and the valves, and I'll sell the aluminum to a recycler. Maybe get some money for that. The springs need to be replaced, everything new. I got all the bolts and everything here. The intake gets in the garage. He did a pretty clean job. He, got everything out. But when I saw the springs, the broken springs, and I said, oh boy. So now I have to make a decision. Do I use the existing block? The block might be damaged. Let me close this here. You can see the piston head is the third one down the line. You can see the piston connecting rod right there in the middle, and the valve is in there somewhere, chewed up. So I don't know if the block got damaged. On this side it looked pretty good. So I gotta talk to the mechanic, the shop guy, and say, okay, do we fix this engine or do we buy a used one? They go for about from 23 to 41. But the thing when you buy a used one, some of them says refurbished. I don't know if that's, how many miles does it have and that kind of thing, if it's rebuilt or. So he's got the contacts. I looked it up online and went to, eBay and places like that. I even went to Summit, but Summit, it's on the East Coast. So it's going to be difficult getting a block out here. And the shipping, everything. They want the core had to be shipped over, and I think I'm gonna let this guy handle it. He knows where to buy this stuff. Are there any yards that they have an engine, a 6.0, or maybe even a 6.2? I don't care, as long as they have the power to handle the 3/4 ton. So I wasn't expecting that. I was hoping that there was a drop valve cylinder, and it was a disaster. It's a disaster. It didn't look like it harmed the sleeve of the piston. I can't make it out from here. You know, I got a ladder and I put my head down there, but I don't know if it might be some scratches, but maybe they can hone it out or something. And the block, it's also aluminum. That was kind of surprising to me. So the heads are aluminum. They don't really weigh anything compared to the heads on the boat. And I was supposed to pick up the engine today, the boat engine, but with this mess inside there, I had to take everything to him, and I don't know if he's got a box to keep all this stuff for me. I don't know, man. It's a disaster. I don't know if this truck is going to be ready for hunting season. I'm just going to forget about that for now. I haven't even bought a tag. You know, if I buy one over the counter, then I can think about that. But that's something later. I don't. My head is not in it right now. I might not even go this year, but this is a mess. This is a royal mess. And it wasn't easy getting all this stuff out. I mean, it took him about 2.5 hours, and he was at it, man. He didn't stop for lunch or anything. I said, you know, you want me to get you a burger? No, I said, yeah. And he kept working. And he charged me pretty decent, you know, just $250 to take it apart. So he's a good guy. And I was just hoping on getting the heads done, then bringing them back, installing them. The whole thing would have cost me maybe with the heads $250, and then $250, and then $250, $750 total. But now I'm looking at another $4,000, easy. So I gotta go over there now and talk to this guy and see what he says. All right, just another day. See. Okay, guys. I went to the shop, talked to the guy, showed him the damaged heads. He says he can fix it. So what I did is I put everything in the box here, all the parts, all the screws, and I took off the throttle body. This is the time to do it, and I gave it a real good cleaning inside and out. That makes the performance better. And I was about to put it back, and I said, you know what, the intake manifold, the plastic, really dusty. This truck used to go through a lot of dirt, I guess, in a farm. I don't know why it was so dusty. So I put it out there, and I brushed it, blew it, and then hosed it with water, and it's gonna dry. It's plastic, it's not gonna do anything. I gave it a good hosing. It's gonna dry out pretty soon. So I'm gonna tilt it, and these foams are for the, this was soaking, this was full of dirt. So it's just a cushion that goes in there. Okay, so that goes in there like that. Well, I gotta tilt it. It's got some pockets of water in there. And it was brown water was coming out, so I don't know where this truck was being used, but it must have been in the country. I don't know if it came from Texas. Look, it's still dirty coming out. I don't know if it came from Texas or where. So let me just tilt it, because it's got little pockets of water right in there. Okay, so he told me that he's got a truck. He's got 2 trucks in front of me to work on the engine. So we already talked price and everything. He gave me a decent price, pretty decent. And we're gonna tow it over there, but he's working on a Dodge right now. Then he's got another truck coming in next week, and then it's gonna be my turn. And then he's gonna take the engine out so he can work on it, and he's gonna move the truck to a yard that he has with 2 guys that live there as security. He's got a bunch of vehicles there that he rents. He rents a space. People want to park trucks and cars and stuff. And I want to go check out the yard, but he's gonna take care of it. So the intake is gonna sit here for a while until it dries. Okay, let's blow it out a little bit here. All right, that's good for now. It's gonna sit. It's gonna sit in the sun there for about an hour. I'm gonna wait for that foam to dry up. So the truck, maybe the truck will maybe get done before the hunting season. So I'm doing the best I can. And then tomorrow I gotta pick up the engine for the boat. He already installed the pump and the flywheel. That's the important thing. I got some miscellaneous that I have to do my own installation. That's no big deal. These are some of the parts. Fuel filter, brackets. This is for the alternator and fuel pump. I don't know, I gotta check it to see if the because they installed a water pump, and I told them, hey, you forgot I had the envelope with the gaskets, and the installer goes, that's crap, I don't install, I put something better. Okay, thanks. So now I got the additional expense of the engine, and I said, I took the heads and I asked him, you think that, I just said, go ahead and remove all the springs, and I'm going to take the heads and take it to a recycle and get some money for the aluminum. He goes, no, I can fix that. It wasn't that much damage, he said, underneath. He can do things. And I said, okay. He's gonna finish up the lip, the hole for the valve and everything. So, all right. So he's gonna take out the block and start working on it when he gets the truck there. The only thing that he kind of gets annoyed a little bit, he says, you gave me all this nuts and bolts and you tell me it's all there, but it's going to be a jigsaw puzzle to put it all together. I said, yeah, I know, but I thought the problem with the truck was only the heads, and I was going to have the heads done and then reinstall them. That's it. But when I saw that piston blown out like that, I said, now it's a block. You got to take out the block and do that. So, but he's going to do it. And I think he gave me a pretty reasonable price. So, but still, it's money. I'm embarrassed to say, but it's a lot cheaper than the other guy that wanted to do the heads, and he said he was going to put a new oil pump or fuel pump or something, and he wanted $4,000. I'm going, $4,000 for what? For the heads? I said, no, that's right. But he's gonna do the whole block, so we'll see. And so tomorrow I'm gonna go pick up the other engine, and then I still not ready. I gotta change the oil on the gear case. That this guy couldn't do it. He said he couldn't. He was afraid to break the head off the bulb because they were frozen. I said, well, did you spray it with break free? He goes, no, I use WD. I said, WD is solid oil. It's not, it's not a break free product for rusting bolts or anything. So I'm gonna have to go and do that tomorrow. Too late to go now, and I'll have the engine sitting here in the truck for a few days, and then until I can get an appointment with the yard, and then I can call the mechanic and yada yada and get the whole thing rolling. All right, so it's another project, and let's see if they got the boat ready for fishing season also. At least go get some lobster or something. All right, guys, I want to go get something to eat. See you on the next one. Thank you.